Hello Gemini. This is your forecast for April of 2014. Also applies if you're Gemini rising or Gemini moon. As I mentioned in my general predictions for the year for Gemini, April is a power month. There's so much happening in the heavens. So don't be surprised if you feel as though you're being pulled in lots of different directions. Luckily, Gemini, you're a mutable sign, and for the most part, you are able to go with the flow and to go with changes. And that's certainly what is going to be needed for this month. So let me start out with Venus. Venus, planet of love and money for the first 5 days of the month, is in your 9th house. Venus in the 9th is a good time for planning a trip, for going away on a little vacation, planning it. It's also a good time for meeting somebody from overseas, meeting somebody that you can have a real heart connection with. And you may also get some money from overseas. Something could come quite out of the blue from overseas. On the 6th of the month, we've got Venus coming into your 10th house and joining Neptune and Mercury, who is there until the 8th of the month, only for the first week of the month. So with a lot of activity happening in your 10th house, Gemini, this is really an important time to be thinking about your career, what direction you want to take it in. Venus is going to give you a lot of help in your career for these last 3 weeks of the month. It brings good people, good connections, people wanting to help you. It could also bring a romance in the workplace, but more than that, it's usually this feeling that people are accepting you. What you're saying, what you're sharing, they want to hear it. Mercury and Neptune coming together, make sure that you're careful who you trust, that you listen carefully to somebody's words. If it sounds too good to be true, then maybe it is. Look into it a little more deeply. On April the 8th, we've got Mercury coming into Aries and joining the Sun here, and Uranus in your 11th house. So as you can see, a lot happening in this house of work and career, and something nice happening there for you potentially. And then the 11th house, which is the house of friendships. It's the house of your goals, your dreams, your wishes. And with the Sun there, and Mercury there, and Uranus, Mercury there till the 23rd of the month, and the Sun for the first 3 weeks of the month, this is a wonderful time for doing things with friends, for maybe joining a new organisation where you share common interests with someone. It's a wonderful time for doing something in the community, or doing something in a team, because this combination gives you lots of new ideas, lots of new ways of doing things, exciting coming together of people. Your social life could take off. Geminis, you like a social life, most of you. These are great aspects for this to happen. With Mercury in Aries, you might need to speak out though. Time to speak your mind, to say what you're feeling, instead of maybe just quietly not saying everything. Geminis, for the most part, I know you do say lots of things, but maybe in terms of a group, in terms of an organisation, you need to speak your mind and your opinion so that changes can happen as a result of that. I said it's a power month. It's a power month because we've got the eclipses happening this month. On the 15th of the month, we've got a full moon lunar eclipse joining Mars here in Libra. So this 5th house is being activated. We've got the 11th house being activated, which is your friends, your goals, your dreams, your wishes, the things that you want for yourself. And the 5th house is your creative house. It's also the house of self-employment. So with this eclipse going on and Mars retrograde, it's putting the brakes on you. It's saying, Gemini, hang on a minute. What are you doing with your creativity? What are your special gifts and talents? And time to develop them. Time to look at ways, in fact, maybe you can take a talent or a hobby and make that into a business. Make that into something that could bring you money and also gratification. It's also the house of children. Could be some changes with respect to children. It's also the house of marriage, or at least romance. So there could be a new romance or a change in the direction of a romance in your life. And remember that these eclipses they come into effect usually about 3 months before. Many of you will be feeling it, and they last for up to 6 months afterwards. So look at this area of your creative energy. What makes you unique? What makes you different? The Mars retrograde will slow your energy so that maybe you can see that more. Because Gemini, you're always so quickly off in so many directions. And the Mars retrograde will slow you down a little. Try not to be frustrated with it, but use it as a wonderful time to really look at things objectively. And then when it goes direct from the middle of May, then you can start taking lots of your actions once again. I said it was powerful. We've got the cardinal Grand Cross, which I've been talking about endlessly, but it becomes exact between the 20th and the 25th of month, when everything is at the powerful number of 13 degrees. And here it is for you with the Uranus, Jupiter, Mars and Pluto, this Grand Cross. It's a very powerful aspect in the heavens. It's where there's a tension. So there's a tension between what you're wanting and between what's being asked of you or what's expected from you. And then there's the tension, as I'm sure many of you already know, in your finance houses, maybe a feeling of insecurity or a feeling of, everything's changing, how can I keep on top of it? And it's also looking at valuing yourself. Are you valuing yourself enough? Are people taking advantage of you? Are you not charging enough for your services? All that is going to come into play during this cardinal Grand Cross and for many months afterwards. It's just that it's extremely powerful when the degrees are exact during those few days. We're going to see it being reflected in our outside world, in the global world, as we're seeing extreme climate, social change, economic change, political change. Look at what's happening in the Ukraine. We're going to see more of that. And for you, Gemini, it's going to be very much how you use money and resources. There may be some lessons here for you to learn in order to become stronger in this area and to move forward with more confidence in your own abilities for making money and for holding on to that money. So, powerful time. And then on the 21st of the month, we've got the Sun coming into your 12th house, into Taurus. The 24th, Mercury comes into Taurus. And on the 29th, we've got a solar eclipse at 8 degrees of Taurus, again in your 12th house. So, what's happening here, Gemini, is that it's very important that you take some time out to reflect on all this activity. As you can see, I don't usually fill in quite so much in my charts for those of you that follow me regularly. But with this 12th house, this is about taking some quiet time out. Meditation would be great. Going into nature would be great. Doing some research. Mercury there for the last week of the month. Doing some research into something. Finding out about something. This new moon solar eclipse in your 12th can enable you to find out maybe something from your past that will give you answers to be able to move forward. It's time as well, Gemini, to do something behind the scenes. Not to get frustrated about that, but to do things behind the scenes. Also, maybe to do something for charity. To help somebody less fortunate than yourself, to look at where you might be able to actively help somebody who needs help. Somebody may come to you and need some of your assistance. Of course, as well with the last week of the month, with the Sun in that 12th house, it's not long before it's your birthday time, and so it's a time of reflection. A time to reflect on how you feel you have done this year, and what your new actions and goals are for this year to come. So it's a powerful month. Enjoy the power. Go with those changes, be that mutable sign that you are, which is able to go with changes, because boy, we're going to see a lot of changes. But keep in mind that change is not necessarily bad, it's just how we view it, because very often I've had so many clients say that was a devastating experience, but it woke me up and my life is so much better now. Keep that in mind, Geminis. I wish you a great month. Thank you for listening, subscribing, commenting. I appreciate it. Bye for now.